Hey guys, what's up? It's me, the-kyle-chronicles, and in case you didn't read the title, this week I'm gonna educate you guys on 15 things you shouldn't ask trans people. This obviously includes non-binary people, and this might be a part 1 of this mini-series, because I probably will make a part 2 of things you shouldn't say to trans people, but these are like specific questions you shouldn't ask us. So we'll just jump right into it. The first one is, what's your real name / birth name? No, my real name is the one I give you. That's my real name. My birth name does not matter. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. And a lot of trans people can actually change the name on their birth certificate, therefore the name they give you is still their birth name. And if you mean, well, the name your parents gave you, my parents gave me lots of names. They called me Kiddo when I was a kid, does that make it my name? No, the only name you should be concerned with is the one I'm giving you, okay? Number 2, so that means you're actually a boy / girl, right? No, I'm trans male, which means I am a male. In no way am I a female. Such as trans girls, they are females, not a male. Now, with non-binary people, this might be a little harder to grasp, but they are whatever gender they tell you they are. Does not matter what they were born as, okay? Okay, cool. Third, my friend actually was recently asked this question, and it's, what genitals do you have? Well, what genitals do you have? Because unless you're literally about to perform surgery on me in my genital area, or are about to have sex with me, you don't really need to know. What's in my pants is my business, doctor's business, and my sexual partner or partners. How do you have sex? With my genitals, usually. Do you ask random people this on the street? Are you just like, hey, how do you have sex? Maybe that's a thing you and your friends do, in which case, cool, but don't ask strangers how they have sex, cause it's fucking creepy, and 9 times out of 10, their answer will be with my genitals, so, common sense. How do you go pee? Well, also with my genitals, and typically in a washroom, unless I'm stuck outdoors, in which case it might be next to a tree or something. Just common sense. Do you ask your friends how they go pee? No, probably not, unless you're like a caretaker and need to be able to help them, in which case, cool. But if not, don't fucking ask me. Have you had the surgery yet? There's no one surgery that makes you a trans. No, there's a bunch of different surgeries a person can have regardless of gender, plus even more if they are transgender. And there's no one surgery to confirm that they are actually transgender. No, there's a bunch of surgeries you can choose to have or to not have, and that's totally up to you. And you really shouldn't be asking this unless you're a healthcare professional and are doing a follow-up on surgery or something, you know? When did you decide to be trans? Well, when did you decide to be cis? It's not really something you decide, you're kind of born that way. It just happens. Gender and sexuality kind of just happen. So, there's no one moment where somebody decides to be transgender. If you meant when did they come out, that might be an iffy question to ask people depending on their experience. But if that's what you are trying to ask, phrase it, so when did you come out? Not, so when did you decide to be blank? Being trans is the same as being a drag queen, right? No. A lot of trans people are drag queens and drag kings, but they're very different things. One is a performance art, while one is your actual fucking gender. So don't just no. How stupid? No. Okay, just no. What happens if you change your mind? Well, if you're like me, and most other transgender individuals, you have to see multiple therapists and healthcare professionals to even get to the point of getting hormones or surgeries. So the chances of us changing our minds are very, very slim, considering we had to jump through all the hurdles to get here, and during that jumping process, the professionals made sure that we wouldn't be changing our mind. And if we do change our mind, that's like just one person's experience. It is not like every transgender person is going to change their mind. No. So don't just ask people what happens if you change your mind, because I can almost guarantee we fucking won't. Can I see a picture of you before you transitioned? Now, depending on who you are, this might be an okay question to ask. Like, if you're my best friend and I've confided in you about my transition and I'm comfortable seeing pictures of myself before I transitioned, cool, ask away. But if you're a stranger on the street, or like if you're, say, going on a blind date with somebody and you find out they're trans and you ask, oh, so what did you look like before? Can I see a picture? They'll probably say no, for good reason. That's kind of an asshole thing to do. That's like if somebody, I don't know, like had a facial reconstruction surgery because they were in a very, very bad car accident or something. That'd be like asking, oh, can I see a picture like before you got it done? Chances are no, because they really don't like looking back at that time in their life. So don't be a dick, like don't ask that. How did your parents/family take it? I mean, it's kind of selfish. No. Just no. I'm lucky. My parents were very supportive of me and they love me, and I'm totally cool with talking about how they took it and their process of like becoming okay with it. But a lot of trans people do not have that luck. A lot of their people's parents aren't super supportive of them and can actually be kind of abusive toward their child if they come out as trans or non-binary. So just avoid that topic of conversation unless, like, I don't know, you're their therapist or something. Okay? Okay. Are you sure you're not just really gay? I mean, in my case, I'm like super gay, but also trans. But, don't ask this, because gay is a sexuality, whereas trans and non-binary are gender identities. They're two separate little bubbles of somebody's entire identity. So, like, don't get the two confused. Now, if you are trans, you can still be gay, of course, and you can be gay and trans. You just are not necessarily one and the other. And a lot of trans people do not get their gender confused with their sexuality. So just avoid sounding just stupid and don't ask that question. Did you transition because you thought you were an ugly girl/guy? No. If that was the case, we probably would have sought out just general, like, cosmetic surgery. We probably would have been like, yo, give me, like, a butt injection and, like, a facial thing. We wouldn't have been like, hey, so I hate every part of my being and don't at all want to be associated with this gender. Can you, like, chop off my tits, give me a dick, and inject me with hormones every second week? You see the two differences? They're pretty extreme ends of the spectrum. So just, no. Don't ask that. Can I still call you your old name and use your old pronouns? Now, as a stranger, if you didn't know somebody was trans, chances are you probably wouldn't ask this, obviously. But if you're a family member or like a friend or something like that, and you knew this person before they've changed their name and their set of pronouns, don't be a dick and ask this, because no. Chances are, no, they do not want you using their old name, which, by the way, is called a dead name for a reason, because that name is dead to us. We do not want to hear it in reference to us, okay? And pronouns, I see people referring to trans people's pronouns as preferred pronouns. No, they're just our pronouns. Just use the right ones. Don't be a dick. Don't ask if you can use our old set of ones and complain that it's too hard for you to change. Well, guess what? It's hard for me having to see a billion doctors to finally get to the point in my transition where I'm happy with myself. But I'm doing it so you can change a word and like three pronouns when referring to me. And finally, I find you attractive. Does that make me gay? That depends. I'm a guy. If you find me attractive and you're a guy, that could make you at least a little gay. So like bisexual, pansexual, whatever. And if you're a girl and you find me attractive, you're straight, because I'm a guy. If somebody's trans, it doesn't mean they're a whole separate gender or something. They are whatever gender they identify as. So if I'm a trans guy, which means I'm a guy. So guys attracted to me would be gay. Not straight because of my genital situation, but gay because I'm a guy. Is it getting to you now? Like it's clearing itself up? But those are the 15 things you probably shouldn't ask a trans person. Sorry that I got kind of sassy and ranty in this. It's just, these things bug me, because I've had them asked to myself, I've heard it asked to my friends, family, my boyfriend about me. These questions have been asked to friends, and all around the internet I see these kind of things asked, and you just shouldn't do it. Why? Because if you do, you're probably a fucking dickhead. So don't be the dickhead. Don't ask these things. I hope this was helpful somehow, and I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you next week. Bye.